Hi guys, this time I'm reviewing Winter by Marissa Meyer. It is the fourth and final novel in the Lunar Chronicles. This one is a retelling of the story of Snow White. If you guys aren't familiar with Lunar Chronicles, these are dystopian fairy tale retellings. The series takes place in a distant future where we have a colony on the moon, and it is ruled by an evil queen who wants to conquer all of Earth, and she's evil, so that's not a good idea. Basically, I suggest starting with Cinder, and I will post the links to my other videos down below. In the story, we have Winter, who is Queen Levana's stepdaughter. And the whole country, all the lunar citizens, love Winter. She is beautiful, and she is kind, and she refuses to use her lunar gift. Whereas Levana has gotten all of her power through coercion and being not so nice and manipulating people using her lunar gift. So Levana is very jealous that the people just naturally love Winter. So not such a great family dynamic going on there. And while Winter technically has the title of princess, she is not of royal blood, so she cannot inherit the throne. So Winter is a lunar, she has a lunar gift, but she refuses to use it. And a side effect of not using the lunar gift is that you start to go crazy. And Winter has definitely started going crazy. Winter sees hallucinations, things like blood dripping down the walls of the castle, and she'll see things that aren't there. So, not so good. Luckily, Winter has her best friend Jason, who is one of the royal guards, and he and Winter have been best friends since they were little kids. Both their fathers were like best friends. They used to be royal guards together. And Jason has sworn to protect Winter. He absolutely loves and adores her, and Jason's loyalty is to Winter. He doesn't really care whether or not Levana or Cinder rules the moon as long as Winter's safe. So he adds this interesting dynamic to this whole situation. On the Rampion, we do have Emperor Kai. Kai was kidnapped at the end of the last book, which is how they stopped his wedding, but all they've done is manage to delay it. Levana is furious, and the only way to placate her is to promise her a wedding and a coronation. So Kai gets to enjoy a brief respite on the Rampion and gets to get filled in on the whole plan and what's happening, and the fact that Cinder is Princess Celine that he's been looking for the last 3 freaking books. He's kind of really thrilled and excited to be a part of everything and to get to see Cinder again that he loves. But on the other hand, is really anxious to get back to his people because he's the emperor and he's responsible for them and he needs to protect his people. So Kai decides to surrender himself to Levana, to promise her a wedding and a coronation, and he convinces Levana to hold the wedding and coronation on the moon, which is how the Rampion crew manages to sneak onto the moon. So now all that really needs to be done is Cinder needs to convince the people of the moon that she is Princess Celine, get them to turn against the queen, start a whole revolution, and do it all before Levana is actually crowned Empress of the Eastern Commonwealth and gains power on Earth through legit means, which would be really bad. So that is the basic plot summary of Winter, as best I could do it without spoiling it. It's an 800-page book, guys, so really, really condensed version. I love in this book the introduction of Winter and how she sees things. Like, she's crazy, but she's not completely out of it. She's pretty optimistic and she's really sweet and kind, which is great compared to, which is a great side to see compared to like Levana. So like not all the Lunars are horrible, horrible people. Not all Lunars are the aristocrats who follow Levana around because she gives them power. So there's hope still. And in this book we get to actually see the moon. We get to see how the rest of the population lives, whether it's the aristocrats who have all the power and all the wealth, or it's the people in the outer sectors who are doing all the work. We get to see the actual moon, and it's really kind of cool. Like, the society is definitely broken, and Levana is definitely not a good queen. But getting to see this completely different way of life was so cool. This is kind of the big battle. This is the end of the series. This is do or die, and all the major characters have such huge decisions to make and choices. So, although this book is 800 pages, it's also one of these books where I'm like, that wasn't enough, guys. Like, I need more. I want to know more about their stories and what happens after the fact. So, guys, seriously, if you have not checked out the Lunar Chronicles yet, please do it. I love this series. It is one of my favorites. So, yeah, peace out. I love you guys and keep reading. Bye.